guys just at? Where are you out?
So he lives. So this is Tom, and he lives in a different state to me. So we're in different states. I'm in Melbourne. He's in Coffs Harbour.
Banana country.
Where's that?
Where is it?
It's in between like Sydney and Brisbane. It's like in the middle on the coast. Pretty lame.
And you're in Massachusetts?
Right now I'm in Cape Cod, Massachusetts at the Kennedy compound.
Right. And that's where you're actually from, right?
Yeah. I'm not here doing any gigs right now. I'm just here for a quick 7-day break, and then I'm back. I go to Amsterdam, and I can start going everywhere again.
Oh my Lord!
True.
Yeah.
And for the sake of this podcast and our listeners, how should we refer to you? Do we call you Cletus? Do we call you Clams? Do we call you Mr. Baker the Third? Or do we call you Mutado Pintado?
You can call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't mind.
So, what are the origins of that name? It sounds Spanish, Mutado Pintado, but where does it come from?
Yeah, it's kind of like a play on Devo. I was a big fan of Devo, Mutado, but then I was mutated and painted. It's just silly. Yeah, it's just something mutated, basically.
That's awesome.
Is that a Devo song?
No. Devo had a company called Mutado, but with a T.
Mm.
And their record label is Mutado. Mutado. So I just took it from that, just ripped them off.
So coming from Cape Cod, you ventured out into London to pursue music? Was that the case?
No, I moved around. I mean, I was born here, but I moved to Seattle, I moved to New York City, and then I moved to London. So I kind of moved around, but I guess London kind of in a way, music. I was in another band called Black Daniel. That was way back. And then what did I do? Yeah, I just been out there, and then Warmduscher formed out there, and I've been there for about 17 years now.
17.
So, yeah.
So, are you a personal question? But are you a citizen?
No.
How do you make it work?
A woman.
Wow! Yes, I couldn't understand it. I was racking my brain for the last 3 days. I was like, "How is he there?" I'm sure it was true love, in your case. But a lot of people married to get visas, back in the day, and it's harder now.
Nah, I never wanted to go there.
Oh, really?
I never wanted to leave New York.
True.
I say that with love, man. No, I love it. I'm lucky I went there.
Yeah.
But yeah, life happened. Moved to London, and then Warmduscher happened. So.
It's a true love story.
And Paranoid London. Paranoid London first was the first thing that started. Actually, that took me to Melbourne years ago and Sydney. Really? Yeah. I don't know how long ago, but I spent some time over there, quick time, but yeah, it was good.
I was trying to think with Tom before of other examples, the globalization of punk in the sense that you can have an American lead singer, playing with a UK band, or an American lead singer. Lots of American lead singers playing with Viagra Boys, as well. It's
he's cool. Swedish though, isn't he?
Swedish band. Yeah. Is he Swedish?
He is, but he used to go back and forth. I think his father's he used to live in San Francisco and then Sweden.
Wow.
But I think his dad's Swedish or American, something like that. But yeah, he's actually he's actually Swedish. But if you go over most of those Scandinavian countries, they speak better English than I do. You know what I mean? They sound you know what I mean? A lot of them dudes. But yeah, I know he lived in San Francisco for a while, and he went back and forth. Love those guys, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. So sick. Hell yeah.
And so when you went over there to London and you met all the other guys from Warmduscher, did you find that it was a shared kind of musical influence from the get-go, or were you guys introducing each other to different things from where you're from?
Yeah, we were just we got together just literally from that first band that I was telling you about, Black Daniel, right? It was at the sort of end of that. And so I had seen Saul and Lias and those guys had seen us play one night, and they were like, "Oh, can you come and do this party for us?" And we weren't breaking up per se, but we weren't playing anymore. So it was we just went and did this show because I was like, I want to do the fucking show. And then so me and Saul just started. We just did a random thing one night, and because we couldn't do the other band, and then it just morphed into that. But it was all from this sort of that sort of windmill scene that I was whatever. I was desperately trying to get away from anyways because I'd spent so many years there. But and when we started there, we weren't the same as what it turned into. It was more Nobody. It wasn't trendy or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So I was like, fed up with that shit. But I love the windmill. But you know what I mean? It was like, and then it just sort of like came back and it all sort of made sense, or got lucky or whatever, because everyone started going there, and then we started doing like all these different like side projects and everything as a result of everyone kind of like hanging out there, here and there, and then it just sort of like it morphed into what it is now. But it used to be just literally like just chaos, because of like we're all in different bands or whatever, so that was like our fun, sort of like do whatever the fuck you want. And it was like 99% improvised, so it was like let it go and see what happens type thing.
Cool, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's so sick, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I loved seeing Irvine Welsh on your opening track for the last album. Were you a fan of
Yeah, man.
Oh, big fan. And like, so story behind that is I was with Paranoid London, Quinn and I, the Witherer. We were out there playing a show in Miami, and Irvine Welsh, he's a big fan of Acid House and stuff. And he was out there with, fuck's his name? Arthur Baker, like, massive hip hop, pioneer or whatever, like producer. We were out there and we just had dinner with them. They had dinner with Quinn because they wanted to meet Paranoid London. And then we just wound up having a big session with just not Arthur. Arthur went home, watched the fucking Celtics. But Irvine like came out and we went to the show and we just partied all night, and and just became friends after that.
So did he like go into the studio to record his part?
No. He's just like, so after that, funny enough though, when we did that show in Miami, he got on stage and everything, was doing like vocals and everything else.
Oh.
And so afterwards, like me being me, I'm just like, I'm a big fan. So like I'm always emailing him, and we both like have a big love of boxing for some reason. And so we would always be talking about the fights, like, who's gonna win, blah 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 blah. And then one day I was just like, dude, I got this. Oh no, sorry. Then I finally got him to come see us in, I think, Edinburgh, meaning Warmduscher. And because I was always like, oh, you gotta check the band out, blah 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 blah. And he's always, it just never happened. And then one day he finally came and was like, man, this is insane, loved it. And then I got Iggy on the Tainted Lunch album, and he's a massive fan of Iggy Pop. And so then when this album came, it was literally like, hey man, do you want to do an intro? And he was like, I'm not even kidding. It was, I don't know, maybe a day. I don't know what it was, but he just sent some, here you go. And that was it. He's like, here, take this. And then he just gave me his talking about the DMT trip or whatever. Yeah. And then I made the music, and that was it.
That's incredible. I finished the audiobook for Porno. I think it's
right.
Dude, insane fucking book. One of the funniest books, and also kind of book that's so depraved you just can't believe it's a real thing. Like, you're just like, holy shit! Like,
his life is like that, dude. It's not like Porno, but like it's like, I remember one time I was like talking to him. I was like, oh, where you at? He's like, man, I just been in like, I think it was West Virginia or North Carolina, one of those like American like fucking Appalachian, whatever they call it, like towns like in the middle of nowhere. It was a big meth town, and he's like, I went out here for like a week. I met this whole like family. And then HBO's like, okay, you can stay out there to go get inspiration for like a month. So we wound up living with like these insane, like, redneck meth heads for like a month, all paid by HBO for inspiration. And it's like, fuck, man, how do I get that gig? I got to have real talent.
He's on some Louis Theroux shit, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like for me, it was like real interesting, like, insight to that sort of life, what it must be like. You know what I mean? Like, 95% of my ideas like that aren't getting funded. Or like
100% of my ideas like that aren't getting funded.
I say 99.9.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned obviously Iggy Pop, like, the greatest in my opinion, of all time. But then I was driving the car the other day trying to think of what to ask you, and I nearly crashed my car when it hit me that Janet Planet was Janet Planet from Confidence Man, right?
Yeah.
And I stopped and I actually called Tom and I was like, wait. And I had to Google it just to make sure. And I was like, how the fuck does Warmduscher know about Confidence Man? How did you guys meet?
All right. So it's so like we did, what's that? Jules Holland, which is like that TV thing. And they were there doing it. And then, we started talking or whatever. But Ben, the bass player in the band, well, basically all Confidence Man had moved over to London, and I think they're still there. I don't know, but they had like a studio and stuff like that. And so, but more so, they just started hanging out. Like, and Ben was hanging out a lot, partying with them, with Lewis, the brother, and it just fell through like that. You know what I mean? Like, and we were always like, oh, Lewis was a fan of stuff that I did with, like, because he's more electronic, obviously, and stuff like that, with like Paranoid London and Sworn Virgins. And it was, I guess what happened was Ben just went over and was hanging out with Lewis. And then Janet came in and he was like, oh, they're like, what's Warmduscher up to? And he played Pure at the Heart. And she started like,
oh, man.
It was just literally like that. Like, basically, that's like 90. Well, on the most recent album, it's like everyone on there is just like that. You know what I mean? Which is great on paper. But then when you have to deal with managers and shit, it gets frothy.
Yeah. So Dish, I have to say that song, I think that's the first Warmduscher song I heard, Pure at the Heart. My friend showed me, and it was my first time doing shrooms, and I was starting to freak out. And they played that song, and I listened to it. I was like, "Can you play that shit again?" And I listened to it about I don't know how many times, but there's just something so beautiful about that song. So thank you for that.
Thank you,
and to Janet too for
and to Ben.
You saved the young boy's life.
Saved
I obviously want to talk about Midnight Dipper. My first introduction to you guys was through the Soul Wax remix. I'm a huge Soul Wax fan. You recorded a unique introduction to that, right? Which is so iconic on the remix.
Yeah. Well, that's those guys are all like Dave and Steph. So, you know, back to like what I was saying about the dance music stuff or whatever, because I'm in another thing called Sworn Virgins with Quinn, the Witherer. And we done stuff for them on Dewey, and like they've been fans of ours. Like another, like they're just like awesome guys. They're just total like enablers of wrongness. You know what I mean? And like, and in the best way. I mean, like wrong. You know, like in a load of fun. And so like we were out in Ibiza. Also, Arthur Baker was there as well. Funny enough, and I think about it, and we were doing this. Yeah, we did this. Quinn and I, Paranoid London, and I think Dell was there too. But anyways, doesn't matter. I'm waffling. But we were out in this like Ibiza party, and this like Russian oligarch's daughter had booked us, right? And it was like, I don't know if you ever been to Ibiza or heard about it or whatever, but it's like foofy as fuck. You know what I mean? It's like Paranoid London is straight up like punk, but it's acid house, but it's like, you know, like punk as fuck. Anyways, this lady or whatever was like just beyond money. And so she took us to this place called Cipriani's, which is like fucking massive money. You know what I mean? Like anything. Like, and anyways, the Deweys were there. The Dewey brothers were there, and so that was our first sort of meeting. So they came up and met us at the dinner, and they racked up like, there's no lie, they racked up like a €6,000 like wine bill on this lady, and then went to our show, which turned into total chaos. And it's like, I figured they'd never talk to us again because, you know, this is like a long time ago. So I was a little bit more unhinged, but just started like doing everything you probably shouldn't do at like a foofy dance party. And like afterwards, Quinn and I are like, we fucked it, didn't we? And no, it was like straight away. It's like, love you guys, you know, like da 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 blah 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 blah. So they, long story long, when they did the remix, they were like, look, we'll do the remix, but you have to put something on the front of it, like whatever you want. And so I just did that, like as like a sort of like, yeah, I just was like, fuck it, there you go. And then they loved it. They put it on there. That was it. But those guys are like, we still do records with them now, like outside of Warmduscher, and their manager's our manager and stuff like that. So
wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, I love that song. I love the fact that you're breaking the fourth wall like that. And you just don't hear, like, I can't really think of many examples where the remix has like a tailor-made intro. You know, I think more people should do it because it's just such a cool idea as well.
Well, yeah. The other thing is, from like going back to the electronic stuff, to my first sort of before the band or whatever, like I used to throw parties and stuff like that. So I've always been in New York. I used to throw parties, and I've always been in that world. So like my stuff was always, but my background, and I mean, I love all music, but like I used to listen to a lot of hardcore and still do, whatever. But so, and band stuff. So I was always trying to bring those two worlds together, you know, and that's sort of like part of the Warmduscher sound. You know what I mean? It's like me, I'm bringing something, they're bringing something, you know what I mean? Like, that sort of electronic vibe or dance vibe or whatever, like just filthy kind of like filthy beats.
Yeah. In terms of what you did before, like, were you working as for Ralph Lauren? Is that
Yeah. Yeah. I still do sometimes, man. It's like the music
really?
industry's fucked.
Ralph
Yeah.
Lauren.
I do.
Dang.
So I did that since I lived in New York, but it's not. So what it is I'm like I do windows, but it sounds more glamorous. So in New York, you do so what will happen is they'll do these window changes, right? Like window displays, and it's like a big thing, in the big like flagship stores. So what I would do there is you'd have a set builder come and put the stuff in, and then I do like menial shit like paint the walls or move a mannequin around and stuff like that. And then when I went to London, my whole crew of people out there, one of my best friends that used to be in New York, he had been sent to London and was running the shop over in London. And so I just did like freelancing there. But over in London, it's more like building. So it's like, like going in and building the sets and stuff like that, which is where I met Pirate Gav. He's like a sixth member of us, or seventh member. And, it's like a whole crew. And I still do that sometimes. Actually, I was just doing it like just for, for extra money or whatever. And it's a good way to get your brain like straight when you're just dealing with too much fucking music or whatever.
Yeah, I asked it.
Sounds therapeutic. Yeah,
I did my. I was doing my Christmas casual stuff at Ralph Lauren last summer, and
right.
A lot of the times I was wishing that they were playing stuff like Warmduscher on the PA, as opposed to the torture music, the Christmas torture music that they play.
Well, I was saying when I used to do it full on, you could literally know where you're at by the sounds of what they're doing or what sets are being built. Is always like is a different word. It'll be like, okay, this year is fucking whatever cruise ship, but they'll put a different spin on it. But then you're like, oh my, here we go, like 20 years later, cruise ship. You know what I mean? And like till you set your sort of like mind clock and to like, oh, here we go again. It's like Groundhog Day, but with fucking like a bunch of people running around obsessing over latte paint or something.
Yeah, I really can't think of anything more different to like the chaos of some of your shows. I really think that's the polar opposite, really. Ralph Lauren.
Well, I tell you what, man, like not ironically, but funny enough, in New York, because we're all freelancing, right? So I'm throwing parties and like those jobs, like it's a creative job. So it's not like I'm working, it's working with them, but it's not like I'm hired by them. I am hired by them, but you know what I mean? I'm not like a it's like people that they hire to come in and do stuff. But what happens is, especially in New York, it's generally the musicians or artists or whatever. So I wound up meeting like out in New York and befriending like people that wound up to go on a chairlift, a place to bury strangers. Like Oliver's a great friend of mine. I don't know if you know those, like Death by Audio. And I don't know if you ever heard chairlift or whatever, but Patrick and from those guys in Caroline Polo. She didn't work there, but I met all those so basically you'd wind up meeting a load of like people on the same level, like doing the same thing, like in New York, like just hustling but then having this, unless you're a trust fund kid, which none of us were, which was whatever, if you are, it don't matter to me. But like if you needed money, you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, it ain't coming from music when you're starting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And so
Yeah, what era was this? Like when you were starting with this?
So that would have been, dude, I'm old. So that would have been probably, I don't know. I want to say like maybe 2001. I started there, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe even before that, maybe 2000. I don't know. I used to work for a record label and then I got laid off. And I used to work for Strictly Rhythm, which is a big like house music label.
Yeah.
In New York City. And then from there, I just was like, I'm just doing my own thing. And then start doing that. So for forever, I don't know, like maybe 2000 until now. You know what I mean? Like I was just out there, but then I go like 3 years without working there, Yeah. But it's like, it's always there because my good friends and stuff like that run, so I'm lucky. I'm very blessed. And the people that work there are all really good people. And in London, it's kind of the same, but it's more, there's less freelancers. So it's more people that are hired full time. So you obviously can't do that if you're a musician because you can't dedicate your time to it all the time, But you still do get the weirdos, so it's good.
It's interesting. Like I've been reading the book "Meet Me in the Bathroom," about the origins of like indie sleaze in New York around that time, actually, exactly that
Right.
time. And when you said the trust fund kind of thing, like like a lot of those big bands started from the internet boom, So that's also like really interesting as well. Like LCD Sound System and that entire label, I think, is from a trust fund, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, see, I don't know the specifics of that, but I knew those guys that got there, and I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that there was like I don't think James is, but I don't know. I never read the book.
No, I don't think he is, but I think the actual label itself, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there was one guy.
Yeah.
That at least this is I don't know. I never met him, but this was the sort of like says that one guy that was funding everything. So back then they used to have this thing called Plant. And it was like Plant. They opened a bar, and then this dude had like this house and everything else. And I think they used to fund the studio that James worked at, and then which became DFA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know those guys well, but I met James a few times, and now, funny enough, he's a fan of Paranoid London and stuff like that. And my really good friend Igor Cavalera, he's like he does stuff with them, and he's really good friends with them.
They're amazing. Definitely one of my favorite bands of all time, for sure.
Yeah, good dude, man. They're a bunch of reprobates as well, but in the best way possible, whatever. But like I say, I don't know James. I've only met James like a couple of times, so I don't really know much. But weirdly enough, I used to cross paths with him when I was doing parties, like before any of this stuff, because that's what before he went massive, So yeah.
So are you at a point where you're able to do music full time?
Yeah, but it's still a struggle, especially now. It's like, it's not a struggle. I shouldn't say, I say it roughly. I mean, because if I say a struggle, it's like world's smallest violins. But yeah, I'm always like, yeah, I'm definitely not buying a house. I'm renting my, you know what I mean? It's like, it's all that type of shit. But I also don't want to come off like, oh, poor, you know what I mean? Like, but no, it's still a hustle, like, especially where we're at, you know what I mean? It's like, we'll go through periods of like making good money and then not making money for like months and, like that type of stuff. But yeah, like when I started doing Paranoid London, that's when I was first like able to not work at Ralph Lauren or whatever, like every day. So yeah, I guess in a roundabout way, I do. But it's a matter of like, a lot of people probably wouldn't want to do it because still a head fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, it depends on what how you're prepared to live, whatever,
Yeah, it's really tough. And I'm sure Tom can relate to this. Even though we're not in the same state, like we've toured in each other's respective states with our own bands, and it's fucking hard here, But we're so far away from everything. It's so hard. Even with the internet, like people say, oh, just get it online. But the algorithm is it's getting tougher. Right? It's getting tougher and tougher.
It's completely fucked. But you just gotta keep doing it, man, and then something gives,
Yeah.
But it's like it's like I was saying before. I mean, you guys know, if you guys are musicians as well, so it's like it's just how much you can deal with, I guess, in terms of like fuck. You know what I mean? And then it's like the fucking carrot. You go and do like this gig, and it's amazing, and you got some money in your pocket, and you're like, oh, okay, and then they just throw it under. Underneath you, or you see some fucking like whispered project of some kids or doesn't have to be kids, whatever, like getting like this full on support of something they're doing and coming out of nowhere, and you're like, fuck these motherfuckers. But
these damn kids,
these damn kids are coming up from behind us.
Get out of my yard.
It does feel that way sometimes, but you're right. Like every now and then you will have an experience, as long as you don't get too burnt out, which I do.
Yeah,
you have an experience where you're reminded why you did it in the first place. Whether it's like a really good show or someone compliments, because compliments are pretty rare in the music scene, but when you get them, they're really nice. It's cool. I saw that on your Instagram that you guys have your WhatsApp like available on the bio.
Yeah,
is that intentional?
Yeah. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but yeah, I got a burner like I don't know, a year ago or something, and then we just left it up there. And so every once in a while we'll like just say, hey, call us up, and yeah, but I haven't turned it on in a while, so I don't know what's on.
Right, yeah, I thought it was someone's like private phone number, and I've
done that before too. I got in trouble for it. I've done that before.
No,
God.
I was eating dumplings with my friends the other day, and we were on the band DZ Death Rays. Have you heard of them? They tour Europe a lot.
No.
They're an Aussie rock band, and they're quite big. And I saw that they had a phone number just like the one that you guys have, and we called it, and it was like 3 rings, and then it was like the most awkward like hello, and we were like, what the fuck? And then we're like hi. And we had a conversation for about like 2 minutes. He's like, so like, who is this? And I'm like, dude, your number's on your fucking bio. He's like, oh shit. And he took it off.
Oh my God.
No, no, we leave it up there, but sometimes we'll open it up, be like, yeah, call us up. And then, yeah, it'll be like that same type of thing.
Is it usually a positive experience when they do call you?
Well, it's hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like exactly what you're describing. You're just kind of like, hello, hey. What's going on? What's happening? Yeah. What's up? And 9 times out of 10 we'll be partying or whatever. So it's like, it turns out to be fun. It turns out to be all right.
That's so cool.
That's I aspire to be like that.
I think if we put our numbers up, we just get like doxed or humiliated. I don't think anything good would happen from that. Actually, yeah.
That has its merits. It depends what mood you're in, right?
Well, we've done it once in this show. Like we've done this show from a pizza parlor once with a comedian here called Divorced Dad. And people were calling in to talk shit, and we recorded everything like through the phone. So in that podcast, it's kind of like a Howard Sternsy, calling type affair. So it's kind of cool, if you do it on your own terms. But yeah, you
just gotta have thick skin. Don't matter.
Sure. For sure. The latest album, I saw the record when I think I was in Spain this year, and I didn't know it was you guys. I just kind of was going through a bunch of records, and this particular one stood out to me. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, Warmduscher, sick, I think it's a fantastic album cover. Can you talk to me a little bit about like where that album cover came from? Like who designed it?
Came from my friend Ben Ricks. He's a metalhead from and he's also an amazing musician, but he's also an amazing artist, and he's a good friend of mine. I think he's in Lisbon now with came from him. It's just like, hey dude, because he usually does he does a lot of our artwork, like a lot of like the tour posters and shit like that, and he's got the same sense of humor as me and everything else, and so and the rest of the band. But with that, I don't know where that. I don't. He just came out of his head. Yeah. But then the idea of like, because what we wanted to do initially was like make patches, and we did make patches, but we wanted to make like like vest jackets with the big embroidered patches on the back. So he made it look like that on the cover, or tried to make it look like that. Whether you got it or not, I don't know. But like that was the idea. And it just comes out of his brain, and he's a good dude. He's like a full on like metalhead from I think Bristol. You know what I mean? Like
Bristol.
He's awesome, and that's it. And he's like an insane player. You know what I mean? Like shredder and like everything else. But his main job is what do you call it? Graphic design. And so he's always like, for us, he's like, I like working with you guys because you just have fun or whatever, and do he can try ideas, where a lot of his stuff is like, he's also got he's got like a clothing line called the Wet Patch, and he does some really cool like shirt designs and stuff like that.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
for sure. I was also wondering, in terms of, obviously you're writing your own lyrics.
Yeah.
Do you have input on the instruments as well?
Sometimes, but generally I'm not. I mean, I can play music, but I'm not like Ben and those guys are insane, like really good. But sometimes I'll bring like the really simple ones, like the sort of like Staying Alive, or I think I started out Top Shelf. It's just me doing like, like fucking bar chord riffs in my house on the guitars, like, and then just singing to it, and then I'll take it into them and be like, all right, come on, man. Put perfume on the pig, and then that's generally what happens.
That's awesome. I probably should have asked you this before, but if I don't ask it, I'll probably regret it. Like, where does the character from Midnight Dipper, the protagonist, right? It's two characters, right? It's a guy and a girl that's bouncing on his lap, right? That's the thing. Who is this dude? and like,
I don't know, man. It's just like that dude. Like it's like a Russ Myers movie, I'd say.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
I mean, it's not really, but that's what I'm saying. That would be the best description of like some dude in a pickup truck that's been wired all night and he's flying down a road, and then a girl's running away from home, and then it's just like pop in, and then they're just cruising to the end. You know what I mean? It's just like and then just smash into a wall and bam. But weirdly enough, though, this song it will have no bearing on like if you listen to the two songs. But I always had this. I'm a huge Big Black fan, like Steve Albini's band, and the song "Fish Fry," and he's like. Oh shit, I can't even think of the words now. He's like, in the pickup, got my 8-track playing really fucking loud. It's like, so I just imagine this. I imagine this, driving down the highway in this pickup truck with the 8-track. And so then I was like, here he comes in his 4-wheel drive and up all night and he's ready to die. Like, so it's nothing like it, but that's exactly where, I was like, just love Fish Fry and I love Albini and Big Black specifically. The other bands have taken a leave, but Big Black for me is like one of my favorite bands. And so it was like that. And then I had this because I had that vision of the same type of a guy in the truck, like a Russ Myers. The dude's just wired. He's like amped up, like
yeah.
The eyes are going. He's drooling, like
No, you really paint that picture. And I mean, the only Russ Meyer movie I've ever seen is Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. But I know through listening to Tarantino's like podcast about the other ones, which are even fucking crazier than that one. Yeah, you definitely got that atmosphere through, it's really evocative kind of wordplay and world building.
Oh, thank you.
Are you a big movie person yourself?
Yeah.
And do you have any favorite like grindhouse movies or like kind of offbeat art house movies that you like?
Well, I used to watch a lot of like, I wouldn't necessarily say they're grindhouse, but like I used to watch a lot of those sort of like Fort Apache the Bronx is like one of my favorites. And it's kind of like that, it's an 80s sort of like dystopian, like ridiculous. It's got like Pam Grier in it and she's like a prostitute. And like Whale City, that whole album was basically just like for me was about like kind of that sort of like the initial visuals or whatever. It will have nothing to do with it, like if you watch it and see it, but for whatever reason it spurred me. But a lot of those movies like that where it's kind of like like the dudes with switchblades hanging out, the ridiculous like punks that there's no such people. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hey man, what are you doing down these streets like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always the lone wolf goes down the bad street, and it's like I love like a lot of those, like Abel Ferrara is another like driller killer.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, my favorite Abel movie as well. Yeah.
So I like a lot of horror movie, like a lot of old horror movies or whatever. But Grindhouse, I don't know. The other thing too, dude, is I'm like I can't remember a lot of titles, but I know like that sort of like genre. And also I used to watch, so my dad used to have a liquor store, and in the sort of like parking lot there used to be this place called Curtis Mathis, which was like a VHS tape rental. And so I had full range to get whatever I want, like from there, because my dad would be working, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, like go rent a couple VHS, and if I'm there on the weekend with him, whatever. And this place, it was weird. It was on the Cape, but it was like it had nothing but like B movies and everything else, because there probably weren't a lot of, it was a big store, so it was like stocked with like loads of shit. So I used to get to rent like all these like insane movies that just still stick with me, like those like I think there was one from, I don't know if it's Australian or New Zealand, but it was like this sort of like it doesn't, I'm gonna get it, but it's like this old like B movie, like kind of zombie type thing where like it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna do it justice because I'm not gonna remember the name of it, so it's not gonna you're not gonna but like loads of like Basket Case, actually? Maybe it's Basket Case.
I think Basket Case is that the one with the dude like they have like his brother is in like a basket or some shit, like his whole brother is like in like a box or some shit. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it's like a creature that kills things.
Yeah. That's I think that's like
is that Australian?
I think it's
New Zealand.
Because I know New Zealand, I know Peter Jackson, I know it's not Peter Jackson, but I know he did that zombie movie with the crazy amount of gore, which was the first movie I ever saw with gore in it, with Brain Dead, or it's
Maybe
the one where
Brain Dead.
he hits them with the lawnmower and they all fucking go everywhere. Like, it's like super iconic.
And it's like a beach, like it's a very beachy place, and there's a girl. Anyways, yeah. I mean, it all melds into one, but I don't know if it's Basket Case or Brain Dead. But then there were loads of stuff like, fuck, dude, I can't even like. I used to watch a lot of Dolomite, but then there was.
Oh yeah, like blaxploitation movies. Yeah. My favorite is Truck Turner. If you've ever seen that, that shit
Never seen that. No.
That shit fucking rocks, dude.
Dude, and then all the Faces of Death stuff, of course.
Oh yeah, we spoke about
Cannibal Holocaust
recently.
Oh God.
Yeah, Faces of Death. I actually checked it out after we interviewed a photographer from NYC, and yeah, he told me to watch Faces of Death, and it's fucked. Like it's
so, but it's all fake. Like, most of it's faked.
Yeah,
but it's like when you were a kid, I would have been really young. Like I'm saying, I probably shouldn't have been watching, but whatever. I just had like free range, and you'd see, you're like, holy shit, this is real, and then you find out it's not. But like, I just remember this one scene of like this big fat like Texan or Floridian like sheriff. He's on a boat, like he's on like a tiny little like, I don't know, skiff or whatever, and he's in this sort of like little pond or whatever, and they're like, there's an alligator in the swamp, and da 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 da, and it's all narrated, and he tries to like lasso it or something or whatever he's doing, and it pulls him into the water, and it's just like, it's all fake, but it's like, you look at it like, oh my God, then there's like fucking intestines floating up in the water and everything.
Yeah, I think we're thinking of the same one. I think I watched the one where the dude parachutes and
that's the other one.
The wind pushes,
ironically,
pushes him into the fucking alligator swamp, and he gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I know it sounds weird laughing about it, but because it's fake. But what else, man? I used to watch so much movie. Like I still do. I'm always watching movies. But like as a kid, there was like Fort Apache the Bronx, massive one. Wanderers, Warriors, love them.
Yeah.
I'll waste your time because, like I say, I'm brain dead.
I love talking about film on this podcast. It's one of my favorite things because a lot of it, a lot of the movies that you watch when you were a kid really do end up influencing your work. You just don't realize how much.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that's the thing. When I first started, still even now, it's like more movies are more influential to me than other music, kind of. You know what I mean? Crimes of Passion was another one I used to really like. Ken Russell, I think it was Ken Russell. Crimes of Passion with Anthony Perkins and Kathleen Turner. Dude, it's so twisted, but
Crimes of
funny.
Passion.
And it's this weird sort of like, it's all neon,
Yeah.
Escape from New York. I used to just watch that religiously. And then like, even fast forward to now, like when we did Tainted Lunch, and it will have no bearing on it as well, but it was like we went and watched Mandy all together.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, but that movie is so amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah. So yeah, and also Adam Quicksand, whatever, in the event, he's a massive movie buff as well. Like I wouldn't say I'm a buff because I can't remember shit, but like he's a big old film head. Like we're always like bouncing movies off each other and shit like that. So yeah.
Do you guys have Letterboxd, the app?
What is it called?
It's called Letterboxd. It's like Letterboxd.
He knows about Letterboxd. You don't know about Letterboxd?
No, honestly,
it's
God.
like,
oh shit!
Like social media, like movie, like logging. It's like really sick.
No way. I'll check it out. Letterboxd.
That's crazy that you.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I swear.
Yeah.
It's like IMDb, but better. Like
I don't use it. I actually don't use it, and it pisses a lot of people out that I don't use it because, like, if I have to go and log every single movie, and I'm very OCD, so if I have to log every fucking movie I've ever seen, I'm gonna be on my phone for like another 10 hours. I'm already on my phone for 10 hours. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I guess it's good for situations like that because if I can't, on the spot, you can't remember these things. So is that what it is? I would go in and every time I watch a movie, log it.
Yeah, man, and write a review and give it like 1 to 10, 1 to 5 stars.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really sick.
Well, yeah, I'm glad we were able to. Letterboxd, the gift of Letterboxd. They're not a sponsor of the podcast, I just have to go out and say that. Talking about Tainted Lunch real quick, I have a real dumb question, but can you remember the worst Tainted Lunch you've ever had?
Oh man. Well, yeah, just off the top. I mean, I've had many, but I'd say one time when I was a kid here on the Cape, it was with all my friends, and we would always go to this Chinese restaurant, and because it was like they'd let you just go in. Anyways, it wasn't even the food. I didn't even get to the food part, but I was drinking water, and I always chew ice. And I was, I started chewing the ice, and I felt something really weird, and it was a cockroach.
Oh God! All right.
Yeah. So I say that. I mean, I've had a lot, but that was probably
Pretty.
it comes first.
You're quite old school in your definition of tainted, because like that's actually a really interesting take on it, because I meant more like food poisoning, but you're actually talking about the experience of eating something. Like you don't have to actually have a reaction to it, right? Your reaction.
No, food poisoning. I don't know, man. I don't know, maybe. No, I'd say that like food. I'd say no. That would be worse than food poisoning for me.
That would be worse.
Because I could still feel the crunch of it. It was nasty as fuck.
Oh God!
Damn. Well, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Actually,
yeah.
Before we wrap up, is there anything you'd want to share to the listeners in Australia? Maybe anything you want to plug, or something you want to say to the people here or abroad?
No, just thanks for it's. I mean, I know Spotify sucks and all that shit, but unfortunately for as bands, it's like all these fucking promoters and everything else rely on that, which is bullshit. But it is like you say, oh, you know what I mean? Like boom, 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 they're doing this here. Anyways, I think Melbourne's like our second biggest whatever, like people listening. So thanks for everyone going there. We're trying to get out there, but it's so expensive for us to get out there and tour. But it's on the cards for sure. And yeah, thanks for everyone for supporting.
We'll be there.
For sure, yeah. Please hit us up, and if you need any supports in either of our states,
you guys you're on, man, 100%, 100%. Yeah, man, and I don't lie about that shit either. The only way that it would get taken away from me is if the promoter wouldn't let me. But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
And if you need any help, like in terms of planning it as well, like obviously you guys are a huge band and you know what you're doing, but it is interesting when we've spoken to people that I really admire, like even Hong Kong Fuck You, who's been on the show, and those bands, and Australia is this weird kind of like cultural kind of wasteland, which is kind of hard to navigate.
Good story.
Got a spirit guide.
No, man, I loved it. I personally, Melbourne I really liked Melbourne. We went and did Sydney as well. And I'm not going to name any names. I'll tell you one quick funny story before you go. It's like, so we got booked out there. It wasn't for Warmduscher. It was for Paranoid London. And the guy that booked us out there, I mean, I don't know how much you can talk about it, but anyways, he was a character to say the least. He was an English guy, but he was out there and he was like this massive ketamine dealer. And and he was also like saying he was going to be the first one to bring in like cider to Indonesia. So he's just like a wild card, right? So, and he also, oh God, I don't want to say too much because I don't want him. He's also like a kickboxer, so he'd kill me. But
he'd have to get to you first, like.
Yeah, no, I think he's back. I think he got chased back to England. But anyways, funny story. So he spent all this money. Spent all his money to get us out there, and then at his show that he booked us in, he got popped out and thrown out of the bathroom for doing in the toilet. So he didn't even get to go. But then we went to Melbourne, and then these guys, the Chrissy Baja. I don't know if he rings a bell. He's like a dance guy, but now he's in Berlin. But him and his brother used to be like these sort of like. Their folks were circus people, like entertainers, and they had this whole thing going in Melbourne. And then they brought us to Melbourne, and we did this really crazy show. Anyways, that's my little story. So
fucking,
I really enjoyed it, and I loved the Vietnamese breakfast in Melbourne. It was so good.
Vietnamese breakfast.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Like banh mi, stuff like that as well.
There was like noodles and stuff, like because where we were staying, it was a very Vietnamese section. I'd say there's a lot of Vietnamese food. And there was like one breakfast. It was in Melbourne, and because we were just walking down the street looking for something to eat, and it was like loads of Vietnamese restaurants, and it wasn't bad mouth. It was like a noodle thing. It's awesome. Good shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it might have been either Fitzroy, Footscray, or like Brunswick.
I can't remember, but
in between those.
But yeah,
in between those very general locations.
Good times, good people.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
All right, man. Thank you guys.
It's great meeting you, mate.
Catch you later.
Take care.